Hi, what's up? I don't sound very enthusiastic for this one because I decided to be chaotic at the library today. All this is books. Did you hear that thunk? That's books on the floor. I don't know what came over me, really. I was just gearing up for April, which it's April now, okay? But this was before, okay? And so I held 3 books. They were relatively short, or they have big font, so it's fine, right? And then I walk in to the library today, and I'm like, oh, there's these 2 hardcover, really popular books that just recently came out within less than a year. That means I have to get them. Totally forgetting that I have 3 other books. So I have 5 books, and usually that's fine. I can read 5 books, but then I realized that some of the 2 out of the 3 books I already had on hold are fairly long. So this is going to be chaos. And I'm just gonna pull out the books from my magic bag and see what presents itself for your viewing pleasure. And then am I going to give a summary? I'm going to try and give a summary. I feel a little chaotic right now. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you when I have my life together, which is probably never, but the message is pretty clear here. I'm worried I'm not going to finish at least 1 book. Do I want to DNF anything? No, I want all books to be fantastic, but in the back of my mind, I have chaos screaming at me, please have one that's least DNF so you don't feel like a failure. Let's begin after that unusual sound that I made from my voice box. The first one, Full Cicada Moon. Where did I find this? I don't know. I think it was just someone marked it to read on their Goodreads, and I saw it and I like the cover, and I also, the title is fantastic. I did not know it's for young adults, and it has a hair in it. Oh, that's disgusting. It has a hair in it too. It does not come usually with hair. However, sometimes people are just so thrilled that they leave pieces of themselves in library books. And this follows a young girl named Mimi who is half Black and half Japanese, and she is moving to the States around the time of Apollo 11. And she wants to become an astronaut, so this is going to follow her life. I'm not sure how far we're going to get into her life. Maybe we're going to go into like adulthood, or maybe like she starts college or something like that. But interesting premise. I haven't read a book about astronauts like that. I love science. I don't understand a lot of science because it involves math. So I could never be a scientist. Even biology, that was a struggle. I got a C. I got a 70%. Yeah, I love science, as I said. I try my best to understand. So I want to live vicariously through Mimi and just other books in general. But I have not read a fiction book about a scientist, actually, and or someone that wants to be an astronaut, so I'm intrigued. Next up is Demon Copperhead, and this is probably the book. This is heavy, small print that I probably won't be able to finish or maybe even start. But I really wanted to read this historical fiction book when I saw it on Goodreads. And it follows a young boy, maybe not boy, teenager. It's like, it's a kind of lifelong book. What's that? It's not a memoir, it's a historical fiction book. I'm blanking on the term, but you get what I'm saying. And he has bright red hair, and he's pale, and he just doesn't fit in with the town that he lives in Appalachia, which is, hearing that I think is a little odd because there's a lot of redheads in and around Appalachia because there were a lot of Irish and Scottish settlers. I'm going to put that aside and we're just going to go with it. Okay, we're gonna go with it, and I am intrigued to see if maybe there's something else I'm missing from the summary, but that's what, like, he stands out because his family is weird and he looks weird, and okay, well, I hope there's more to that, or else, you know, I want more. A little more. Though, reading the summary from this book inside, it's different from what I read in Goodreads, and I hate when that happens because I've had that happen so many times, and I don't understand why publishers do this. The summary should match the book and the audiobook and the ebook, and just, okay, it should match. But this is kind of like David Copperfield, but this is in Appalachia. I am now even more intrigued. I cut scene to make this book haul shorter, but for like 30 seconds I read the inside of this cover because I'm like, there has to be more than he just has red hair and he's pale and his family is weird, because that's what it was when I read on Goodreads. Okay, now I'm even more intrigued, though I don't know if I'm going to get this book because it's so freaking big and there's other books that are smaller. So my plan is to read the smaller books and the young adult novel first, because young adult is usually more plain language because you're centering it from between 13 and 17 years old, so it's not going to be the same as an adult novel in terms of language and prose and all that stuff. But so this is probably going to be last on my list. There were 2 copies of this in the library, but there's like a huge wait list when I go online, so I'm confused about that, but I am intrigued. If I don't get it done by April, it's going to be next month for sure. Okay, next up, oh yes, Bridgerton. An offer from a gentleman, sorry, A. There's lots of gentlemen out there in this novel, just singular. Who are we following? Who? Benedict. Okay. I had to read. I don't like when we start off in summaries with like a side character, but this is about Benedict. I mean, Sophie and Benedict get together, but it's still Benedict's family story or whatever, so that's why I had to read a little longer. I'm like, where's the name? I know it's one of the men in Bridgerton. It's not Anthony. We already got to Anthony. Who is it? Is it Colin or is it Benedict? It's Benedict. Okay. I started reading the Bridgerton romance novels because of the Netflix show, so that's how I found out about this. I read the first and second book. This is the third book, and I hope that the short story is also in the back of this novel, because it was for the other 2, and I wouldn't know where to go to find the short story that is usually accompanied by these it's not really mass paperback because it's like regular size, but the more popular versions where it's a story, you have the epilogue, and then you have a short story that follows the epilogue. So I hope to have that in this novel, because I do love those short stories. It wraps things up even better than the epilogue sometimes. We're just gonna jump right in. What's the second to last one? Oh, The Marriage Portrait. Now, this is a historical fiction novel, and we're following a very fancy, very elite lady, Florence, in the 1550s. Lots of drama, lots of gossip, lots of death. Yeah. So I was interested. And Lucrezia gets some bad rep, unfortunately, though I'm not totally surprised. But I want to learn a little more about her. And lastly, in my big bag, we have the Ex-Hex. And this is a cute little romance, I've been told. I found it on Goodreads because someone else was reading it and they said it's a fun time. It's a fun romance. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try it out, especially because it's short. I'm probably going to read this first because look how short it is. And it's a paperback, so I'm going to go with it. This is the first one in the series of other books for this month. I needed to have something that was like a little uplifting, fun, maybe. I think maybe it's like a romantic mystery or something like that. I don't even know, but I want to find out. Sometimes I don't read the summaries. It's fine. I mean, I'm being truthful here. I'm just having a good time. And I love the title. I also love the cover. And someone said that it was fun. And this, as I said, is going to be my first read. I'm going to start it today. And then probably the Bridgerton is going to be my second read. And I say that because I can read a Julia Quinn novel or just like romance novels in general between 1 and 3 days. So that's what I'm going for. And then I'm probably going to read Full Cicada Moon next, and then The Marriage Portrait, and then Demon Copperhead. That's what I'm going for. Let's see how that works out. I'll give you some updates. If you want to follow my reading schedule for this month or any month, all the months, years, decades, maybe not decades. Well, you know, I don't know how long Goodreads is going to go up, but if you want to just do all that, then you can find me on Goodreads. The link is in the description below. You can follow me or you can add me as a friend. I prefer adding people as friends. I don't understand the concept of following. So just add me as a friend. It's fine. Thank you so much for watching and have a great reading day. Bye.